Does this sound like you? You sign a new client, things start off strong, but a few months later, they're gone. Unfortunately, this is not unusual. Most trainer client relationships last just a few months. Programs average about 4 months, and half the clients disappear 6 months later, and only a small fraction remain in a year. You know this is true. If you live this cycle, then this video is for you. My name is Mike Rosich, and I have trained people for over 30 years. And the one thing I've learned is that in order to keep people coming back, it needs to be fun. Because the truth is, we are really in the psychology business, not the personal training business. All right, personal trainers, fitness individuals, welcome back. We are going today to do a new strike. So we did the jab previously. Now we are going to do the cross, which is kind of the next logical one because people usually do jab, cross as a sort of boxing routine. Now again, what I have for you here is something way better than that. It's not just pads and hitting and doing the same 8 strikes that are available. No, we have a whole repertoire of things that you can do that are martial arts and boxing based. And again, I'm not trying to make you a boxer. What I'm trying to do is give you some tools that you can use with your clients and make it more fun for everybody, because that's the key. Okay, the data tells us what keeps clients coming back is they are having fun. Yes, they want to get results. Of course they do. But a good portion of that, remember, you don't control, because as we all know, it is your diet that dictates primarily how you're going to do in terms of weight gain. But if you are looking for something to keep them active and moving, then this is exactly the thing you need. And again, it's not just punch, kick, and it's not just strikes. Okay, it's a whole program. And if you really want to dive into this program, we have an approved CEC level course that is approved by NASM and ACE, and the links are below. But if you just want to kind of dip your toe in the water a little bit, then this is the thing for you. All right, so today we are going to talk about, again, the cross. So usually it comes off the jab. So jab and a cross. Cross is simply the rear hand that's going to come in. You can do it on left and right side if you like. And when you get good, you can actually have them move around if you want to mix it up a little bit. We also have some drills that you can do that are, again, interactive and a little bit fun, that you can do actually in a group setting, or if you do online training, if you get this set up, you can actually do this online. All right, so how do you reach or get all this equipment? I have a link below in the myfitlife.com website. Again, this is hooked up to sensors, which is even better in terms of client relationships, because you can give them data about what they're doing. All right, so I'm going to again quickly show you. So if I do this cross here, what I'm looking for is something in the 500 range, let's say. And if I miss, you'll see the next one was a bit lower, and that was only 320. So what that tells me is that I am not focusing on my target, which is what you want them to do, because you do want to have their mind involved. Okay, talk to them as they're doing this. Okay, get them into a good stance. Okay, all those things that you are trying to instill in them for the sake of fitness. That's what this is about. All right, so let's kind of do the jab quickly. Sorry, the cross. So from here, what I'm going to do is hands are up. I'm going to drop and hit my target. Drop, hit my target. All right, if you want to do a combination, which maybe you can do after they learn the basics of it, you can do jab, drop, and cross. Jab, drop, and cross. All right, so we'll do a minute of that, and that'll be followed by ways in which you can incorporate this into your current program. All right, so let's set a timer. Let's reset this, and we'll start. Now, occasionally you'll see a little really low one. Okay, what that typically means is you didn't release your hand from the target quickly enough, and it recorded like a little extra. But since we understand that, we can just basically ignore those. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to do my martial arts jab, drop, cross. All right, so those two are good. So I say, all right, here we are. It's exactly what you want to do. So let's just continue to do that. Jab, cross, jab, cross. Focus on the target. That's what you're trying to do. Breathe. Drop, cross. I missed that one. It's not as easy as it looks. You gotta breathe. You can do this on a heavy bag too. Same sensors if you want. All right. So, as you can see, most of these are good. I have a little one there, a couple little ones there. Not bad. Not bad. All right, so let's see how now we can use this in our program with another person on the other end, using, again, strikes, jabs, and some martial arts techniques. So back with Kayla. Today we're going to do back fist and the cross. Okay, first cousin of the jab and the cross. And again, Karam and I showed you this when we did some of the martial arts based stuff, how you can use this, and again, some of the things go wrong. But in terms of fitness, how do you incorporate this? All right, so again, Kayla, thank you for being here again today.
Of course.
And you ready?
Yep.
All right, so I will stand still and you'll do the same thing. So snap that in there. Good. Cross. Snap it in there. Cross. Good. Now, again, with this one, here's what my suggestion would be. If I were coaching her, right, and you want to get the most out of her, here's what I would say. All right, that's pretty good. We can make it better. Here's what you're going to do. I want you to bring this hand up like around your nose area and start it from there. And kind of whip it out like you're kind of doing a towel. All right, so try from there. Good. Now throw that. Good. Try it again. Good. One more time. All right, good. Now, same drill as before. I'm going to just circle a little bit. You're going to find that target. So if it's over here, over here, over here, wherever, okay? Same set of strikes. All right, so go ahead, do the back fist and then the cross. Now I'm going to move over here. Good. One more time. Good. Last one. Good. Now, you have someone who's good at that, take it up a notch. I'm going to walk toward you, and you're going to walk backwards again, doing the same exact thing. Good. All right, now you walk towards me. Good. Good. All right, there you have it. Back fist, cross. If I were training someone, I would say, all right, let's do like 10 of each, right? So that would be 40 in total. 2 strikes each would make 80 strikes in just that little bit of time. Again, having something to do repetitively, they get used to the motion, breathing, everything that's good about working out and fitness. All right, so again, Caleb, thank you very much. And we'll have something fun for you next time, too. Yay. All right. Do a cross. All right, so Karan, what are some of the mistakes people make when doing a cross?
Cross?
Yeah.
Many times people don't pivot the back foot. They'll just turn their body. Sometimes people just start arm punching. Maybe they're square. They're just bringing it out like that. Again, pushing the punch.
So, yeah,
a lot of the same mistakes. Now, a proper cross, again, is going to be quick. There's going to be a lot of hip rotation, full extension, and then punching with those 2 knuckles right at the end, bringing it right back. So, keeping that front hand up comes right back to the guard. Another common mistake, dropping the front hand.
Yeah.
Dropping the front hand as you throw the cross.
Yeah, that's
you want to keep this hand up just for the added defense.
Yeah.
As this hand is up, I'm protected. Also protected on the front side.
All right.
Common mistakes, we want to stay away from.
And I think we even talked about this last time, because there's a slower punch, typically it needs to be sort of set up, right?
Yeah.
It's not a primary punch that you would use, right? It would be
usually, there's a rule in boxing, usually we don't like leading with the cross.
Yeah, yeah.
But, obviously people do anyway. So it's got to be very effective, and you've got to set it up maybe with a feint,
Right.
cross, maybe like a throwaway jab into a cross,
Yeah.
or even a nice one too, with the one not meaning, just with the one just trying to find the perfect range
Yeah.
for that cross.
That's kind of an old chess game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, except...
Because it's got a longer distance to travel
Right.
than the jab.
All right.
So-
Well, there you have it. There's some more common things that can go wrong with the cross. And again, good way to practice shadow boxing right in front of a mirror. Okay, you don't really need much equipment for that. And see what you're doing. Work with someone. Okay. Get a buddy, which is an ideal way to train, particularly martial arts, because it's hard to do some of these things by yourself. So
An old coach once told me, the best thing about training with the mirror is, if it doesn't look right when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, it probably isn't right.
Yeah. Well, filming's helped a lot
Filming does
in
help.
terms of seeing what you're doing and how you do it. So, all right, there you have it. All right, we're good. All right, so we'll do a little drill on the cross. We'll have Karam throw, maybe a jab, and then a cross. So what we're going to do is we'll do a couple of these. We'll record what his kind of average was, so we have a benchmark. And this is a good way for you to incorporate using data into what your training is all about. So I have the sensor hooked up on the pad. I have the transmitter here. You can either use like a little wrist holder if you want, but I'm just going to simply put it on my sleeve. And we'll see what he gets. Again, pretty easy to use, pretty easy to set up. So I'll just slide this in here a little bit, get the wire out of the way. Let's do a quick test. Yeah, we got some data coming in, so that's good. I'll save that. And go back. We're zeroed out. All right, so Karam, again, you had explained that this is a power shot. Again, because we're working on a focus pad, you're not really trying to hit as hard. Really, what you're looking for, I don't know, I've heard a lot of boxers say this, is that you're listening. Tap, 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 right? That you're not trying to like extend all the way through. You want that force to kind of like sit where you put it. So on a focus pad, that's kind of ideal. We're going to tap it and get back out. So we'll do a couple of quick combinations, see what your value is at. So do maybe back fist and then cross. Just do maybe like 5 sets of those. 1, good. 2, 3, 4. All right, you can see that last one's got a lot of power behind it. So average-wise speaking, he came in at an average of 536. His last strike was almost 600. You could see that the cross really, packs a punch. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, again, if you're a personal trainer or you're even training by yourself, have somebody hold this pad for you and just do a series of these. This way, again, you keep track of what you're doing, making sure you're making good contact, aiming for the target, all that good stuff. All right, so we'll do, again, another set of jab, cross, I guess another 5, and let's see how you do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we can even make this a little more difficult on them. In other words, we can move around. So let's see how they come in here. Really good. Average is actually a little lower this time. I think partially because he was hitting a little harder, okay, which means your accuracy is going to go down. So there's a kind of good lesson there. Really, it's a kind of a balance. Now, I can almost guarantee you when I start moving around, these numbers are going to drop a little bit too because it gets harder to hit the target. All right, so we'll just do a couple, just kind of show them, how you could use a pad to move. So 1, 2, and now I'll move over here. 1, 2, move back over here. Okay, here. Okay, come up a little. Down. All right, so you see now he's got to change his body position. Great workout. Again, looking for something fun to do? This is it. Come on. Who doesn't like hitting stuff, Karam, right?
I love it. I love it.
Boom.
I do.
Right? That's how you do it. All right, so any issues you think with...
Check out the numbers.
Yeah, let's check out the numbers. Let's say you did. No, they were actually pretty good. They were almost consistent with your first round where you were kind of focusing more on doing the skill. So I think here too, you were focused more on hitting the target than you kind of were in the second one. I mean, I don't know.
The second one, I think I missed one of the punches completely.
Yeah. So that
I hit the bottom of the pad.
there you go.
Which I think probably.
So if I'm your coach, you know, I'm looking at this data. Okay, we can get a sense of what you're doing, and you know, say, all right, well, maybe we need to focus a little more, slow down a little bit, or you know, maybe put less effort into that cross so that you get better technique. I don't know. You know, you're the boxing coach. It would be great, you know, for when you deal with people you deal with, I think to have some information that you could provide them, other than you know, do punch, kick, kick, punch, jab, jab, whatever. Because after a while, that can get somewhat boring too. So at least now you can mix it up a little bit using this curriculum. All right. So Pranam, thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's it today for the jab. Oh, sorry, cross.
Or the cross.
Cross, yeah. All right, so, you know, the joke I had, I don't know if I used it already, was they call it a cross because when you get hit with it, it's all over, right? Nobody bothered who's for the santo. I don't know. Maybe.
That's a good one.
You like that? Okay.
I like that actually a lot, yeah.
All right, I hope you had a great workout today. Challenge the mind, definitely challenge the body. So, out of everything we did, what did you find the most challenging? What did you find the most useful? Okay, please put your comments in the comment area below. It helps guide us to bring you videos on what you'd like to see. All right, every week it's going to be something a little different. So I hope you were able to focus on the task at hand today and got yourself a little stress release. All right.